Welcome to Chalk Talk, Danville Public Schools weekly news magazine. I'm Diane Locker, your host. We're at Galileo Magnet High School this week, and we're here for a very special reason. I have our new principal, Michelle Ramsey, here with me. And Michelle, welcome to my favorite school. And what we're going to be talking about this week is community outreach and how important that is. I've got a group of students behind me, and I'm going to be talking to them throughout the show about a program they have here, about how they reach out to the community. I've got the director of the T.O.P soccer program that's going to be talking with us too, because that's what these kids are out doing on Saturday morning. I said Saturday morning. You and I don't even want to be up on Saturday morning, but these kids are. Michelle, tell me a little bit about this program.
Well, first of all, we have two teachers that year after year they've invested in the program, trying to get our students involved in community service and so forth. So they've worked closely with the organizer of the program, Miss Diane Har, and we promote it probably at least for 2 weeks before it gets started to see the student interest of going and participating in the program to basically work with special needs students on soccer skills and so forth, and just buddying up with them.
That's an important thing to do. Now, we're going to be talking today about the T.O.P soccer program. Are there other community outreach programs that you're involved in beyond the soccer?
We are involved in several community programs, and we are actually looking to be involved in even more. I'm working closely with the Parent Advisory Committee to get involved in more aspects of the community as well, so that way our students have the opportunity to get involved in our community and make a difference.
I think it's very important that we talk about that aspect of make a difference. It's not only an education for these students, it helps our community. And one of the things that you keep hearing about so much recently is getting into the community and helping the community, and these are certainly ways to do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. The more that we can invest in our children every single day, and then they can walk out these doors and make a difference, that's what we're all about.
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask the director of the program to come up and talk to us a little bit about the T.O.P program. Thanks.
Thank you.
Diane, first, we have to let everybody know that you're not an employee of Danville Public Schools. You're an ex-employee of Danville Public Schools, one of our great retirees.
Exactly.
Now, you are now the director of the T.O.P soccer program?
Yes, and T.O.P stands for the Outreach Program, and it's for special needs children.
Now, tell me a little bit about it. We talk about special needs children. What are we talking about? What is the program about? What's going on Saturday mornings?
Our program is adaptive, so we adapt it each week to whichever children come. If they come in a wheelchair, a gait trainer, a walker, if they're blind, if they're deaf, overweight, ADHD, any disability that would not enable them to participate in a regular organized sport successfully.
Now, these are not students of our school system by and large. They are just people from the community.
Yes, it's a community program sponsored by the Danville Soccer Club.
Okay. Now, what do these students do when they're out there, and are these the only students volunteering?
This is a portion of my buddy staff, and the program works because every special needs student is paired each week with a buddy.
Okay.
So these guys have buddy on the back of their shirt, and their shirts are blue with red. The players' shirts are red with blue.
So it's one-on-one.
Exactly.
One of our students with one of your participants.
Right, and I have kids from Danville, Pittsylvania County, as far as Caswell County, because it's a community program.
Now, when these kids, these special needs students, are not with you on Saturdays, do you have other activities that you work with them during the week?
I do not.
Okay.
I'm a volunteer. This is just something that I do on Saturday mornings and have done for about 12 years. So there are lots of programs for special needs kids, but T.O.P Soccer is just a Saturday morning event.
Well, I know it must be very important to you to have students like this that show up and work with the students. So what I want to do now is I'm going to kind of get the teachers up here and see if I can find out what's going on inside of Galileo that connects to this.
Wonderful. These guys are great. They're the best buddies ever.
Yay. Every program that you have in the school's got to have a teacher somewhere in it, and I have the 2 teachers here that are working with the students that are behind me to carry out this T.O.P soccer program. Kathy, I'm going to start off with you. Now, you are a teacher here. You are in our International Baccalaureate program.
Right. I'm the IB coordinator here, and I also teach Theory of Knowledge, which is a required IB course.
Now, tell me a little bit about how the kids are selected, or do they just volunteer? What happens?
They just volunteer. That's just one of the things that makes these guys so amazing. We encourage them. We get the word out after Diane sends us the information. Mrs. Ramsey posts it on the announcements. We have it posted on our doors, and they just show up.
They show up. They
Yes.
show up. Now, Vanessa, I think one thing that we need to mention is community outreach is great for our community. It's great for these students, but isn't it also an important element of going to college?
Oh, yes, and we've pushed that at Galileo and have from the first of Galileo's opening. We've wanted our students to be involved in the community in many different levels, and this is just one aspect that our students are involved in the community.
When I talk to and interview people that do scholarships and give scholarships, one aspect of applying for a college scholarship is what type of work have you done in the community, and I think that's extremely important. Now, I know
Absolutely.
that here at Galileo, you've got a special program that one of the students is going to tell us about later that has that community outreach portion.
Right.
But it goes further than just that.
Oh, yes. I know with the IB program, we've had students in years past have the CAS hours, the community hours that they had to accumulate. One of the wonderful programs, Danville Public Schools, the Graduate of Distinction program, requires community service hours. And T.O.P soccer we can sign off that they participated, and that can be a requirement for Graduate of Distinction for the seniors.
I think that you mentioned graduate distinction. I'd like to say here about that program. What have we had it about 4 or 5 years now?
I think so,
Something
yes.
like that. What's important about that program is, yes, you've got to have a certain grade point, but there are a lot of other things that have to be part of that, and one of the really important parts is that community outreach.
I agree. It's important to get involved, and I think as they get involved as teenagers, then it sets a pattern for them for life.
For life. Now, Kathy, community outreach is also a part of that International Baccalaureate program, isn't it?
Right. The students have to complete 150 CAS hours. The CAS is an acronym for Creativity, Activity, and Service. So any of the T.O.P soccer activities and things like that take care of that service component, and sometimes, depending on the activity, they can also take care of the activity portions too.
Let me clarify something. If I am a very good student and I do all the grade work, can I get an IB diploma if I don't do the community service?
No. That 150 hours is required. And here at Galileo, as Vanessa mentioned, and as you'll see here, the kids are so involved in so many things anyway that those CAS hours take care of themselves.
But you have,
And normally the students go beyond the 150 hours too.
now, besides T.O.P soccer here and as part of your community outreach here, you've got some other programs.
Right.
Beads for Life.
Right. That's one of our Roots and Shoots projects every year. This will be our 11th annual Bead for Life party. That's coming up November 2nd. Unfortunately, it will be our last because, fortunately, this program has been so successful that the ladies in Uganda now have more ways to take care of themselves and earn money that takes up less time. It's just more
That's a good ending. That's
It
a good
is.
ending.
It's a sad ending, but it's a good ending.
And I know there are lots of other programs that I'm going to find out when I talk to the
Right.
students. And I think I said a little bit earlier, I'm not sure, but I'd like to repeat the fact that every entity that gives scholarships to students to go on to college requires community service.
And we're seeing more and more scholarships specifically designed for community service. Forget need, forget GPA. Tell us about your community service. And some of those scholarships are given specifically based on those activities.
Don't you think that goes back to the concept now? We aren't always looking for the student that always makes the grades. We're looking for the well-rounded student
Right.
that's part of the community. What I'm going to do now is take a short break, and when we come back from the break, I'm going to get back here and talk to some of these.
Hello, my name is J.D. Edmonds, and this is my wife,
Janine Edmonds.
I am the Bond and Booster President, and I'm encouraging all you parents to get involved with your child's education, get involved with the community, and show your support for your kids' school.
Continue to be that bridge between the community, school, and family.
Hello everyone, my name is Alexandra Reddy and I'm the Beta Club President here at Galileo Magnet High School. Let me tell you about Beta Club. Beta Club is a national academic club that focuses on community service. And in fact, our motto is let us lead by serving others. So every month, the Beta Club here at Galileo completes a service project for our community and also for our school. And then in February, we travel to the state convention where we compete with other schools in the areas of English, science, social studies, talent competitions, and it's a really awesome experience. But I also have the honor of being the Virginia State Beta Club President, an election that I won back in February at the convention. So this means that I have to travel to at least 2 other state conventions this year. There's North Carolina, South Carolina, all across the country that I am able to travel to. So I'm very blessed to be the state president, and I'm excited for what the year holds and making Galileo proud and making Virginia Beta proud.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we're at Galileo Magnet High School, and we're here mainly to talk about what students are doing in outreach to the community. We spent a lot of time in the first half of the show talking about the T.O.P soccer program, where all of the students you see behind me get out there on a Saturday morning and help special ed students be part of athletics, and whatever help they need, these are the guys that supply it. We spoke in the first part of the show about a program here at Galileo that had a community outreach portion, and that's what Kush is going to be talking to us about. But first, Kush, I want to find out, what's your grade level?
I'm a senior.
And have you been here for 4 years?
No, I joined in here as a junior.
As a junior. I believe we've talked before, haven't we? Yes, I
Yes.
remember when you first got here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We talked in ACE.
Oh, yes, yes. That was a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
That was last year.
Last year. See? Time flies. I think this is part of a program here at Galileo that's called PBIS Matrix. Tell me what PBIS stands for.
PBIS stands for Positive Behavior Intervention and Support.
Now, how long has this program been going on here at Galileo?
It started last year and we are building upon it this year.
Okay. Now, when you see things like attendance, does that mean that you're just here every day?
That means we are physically and mentally both present and attentive in class.
Okay, all right. Now, you're a senior. It means you're graduating. Mm-hmm. What happens after graduation?
Go to college.
And do why?
And study to get to this goal which I set in high school.
What do you want to be out there in the future?
Sometime I want to be a teacher in the future.
Cool. You'll be good at it.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking to me.
Thank you.
I have Mark and Angel here with me because they're going to be talking about, let's see, go the distance. Let's go the distance. And I asked Mark, I said, are you going to be talking about this? He said, no, I'm just going to be holding the sign, and Angel's going to do the talking, so I'm going to talk to Angel. Angel, tell me about this.
Let's Go the Distance, in addition to our matrix, is our slogan for the school. It's to go above and beyond in everything we do, in our community, in our attendance, in being attentive class, and things of that sort.
That sounds like the list of things that Kush gave me for the PBIS matrix. Okay. Now, to you personally, what does go the distance mean?
It means to try hard in everything that we do. It means
not just your school work, just your community work, all the things you do. Now, besides T.O.P soccer, are you involved in any other community outreach program?
I am in SCA, and I'm also...
All right, back up. What's SCA?
It's the Student Council Administration.
Okay, Okay, now what does that mean?
We do a lot of things for the school. We schedule the dances. We do all the clubs. We make sure
You put all the activities and clubs and things together. Like, I think you call it student council, didn't you? Okay. Mark, I know you're here just to hold the sign,
Yes.
but you're involved in other things other than Top Soccer, correct?
Yes, I'm in Beta.
And tell me about Beta.
Beta is just a club where we get together and we try to help out the community through our what we call community service projects, and we do one service project every month, or try to do one every month to help the community. Like
Now, I think earlier I asked you something about rocks.
yes.
All right, tell me, I thought it was very interesting, but I don't know the full thing. You did something with rocks as a community outreach thing.
Yes, we painted rocks up, and we were distributing them across the county, and we're trying to get awareness for the program.
What if I found one of your rocks? Does it have anything on it?
Yes, it has stuff like we had like inspirational quotes on them, and we had like inspirational quote.
I got you. Now, there's a thing that I've heard of. This sounds a little bit like paying it forward. Now, you take these rocks and you hide them? What do you do? Once you put a rock somewhere, what's the purpose of putting that rock there?
We were trying to raise awareness for this girl. She was going to die pretty soon, and this is what she wanted to do. She wanted to distribute these rocks and create these inspirational quotes to inspire other people to do things.
That's amazing, and it's totally amazing and sad. But that's very neat. You can have your sign back. Now, what grade are you in?
I'm in 12th grade.
What happens next year?
Next year I will not be here, unfortunately.
You hope you're not here next year. Where you're going, you won't be here. But are you going to be going to school? What do you want to do with your future?
I want to go to college. I'm looking at a few colleges now. I'm starting to do the forms and starting to get all
the really bad the application process.
Yeah, trying to get all like FAFSA, trying to get all the financial aid you can.
Now, your dad is a teacher here.
Well, he was a teacher here.
For years he was a teacher here. Now, what do you want to do in your future?
Actually, I want to go into business. I think.
You just want to be rich, right?
Well, nah, yeah, kinda, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But
that's what you want to do. See yourself in about 5 years from now in some type of business?
Yeah, I want to go into maybe business administration or something like that. But I don't know. I might change my major in college. I'm still kind of feeling it out.
You're pretty good at holding signs, so you might want to think about that. What grade are you in?
I'm a junior.
And what do you plan to do after you graduate? I know it's not this year. You got another year.
I actually want to teach in special education.
So the Top Soccer program is great for you. It's like a training ground for you.
That's why I did it. I thought it would help me get a little bit more of a feel of what it would be like.
Great. You're very impressive. Thank you.
Thank you.
Matthew, we've talked a lot about Top Soccer and the fact that you guys give up your Saturday mornings and you go out there. When you go out there, what is it that you really do? I know you're working with the special ed students, and you're assigned to one student? You're called a buddy?
Mm-hmm.
And then what do you do?
We basically help them learn about soccer.
And get involved in athletics, which they probably could not do on their own. Is that true?
Somewhat, in a way. But they can still be able to do it, just as they try.
Now, what grade are you in?
I'm a 12th grade student.
You're going to graduate this year. What are you going to do next year?
I plan to go to college, planning on George Mason University.
What's your major? What do you want to be? Let me put it that way.
I think I want to work in the computer field right now.
You're one of those that sits in a little dark room and thinks up all these great things on computers, right?
I think so.
Now, Florencia, what's your grade level?
10th.
The 10th grade. Now, I asked Matthew when he goes out there on Saturday morning, what's it like for him? When you go out there on a Saturday morning and you're with one of these, I'm going to call them children, what's it like for you?
It's really fun. It's interesting, a new experience, and it's really fun.
Do you get a feeling of empathy for what that type of a person is going through?
Kinda, yeah. Like, I try to help them, you know, get better at what they're doing, and, you know, help them out having fun, stuff like that. So.
Now, what other programs are you involved in?
At the moment, none.
Just this? This is enough. Giving up a Saturday morning, I wouldn't even want to do that. That's pretty good. What grade level?
10th.
10th grade? This is your first year at Galileo, isn't it?
Second year.
Second year. You started off as a freshman. Okay. What do you plan to do in the future?
Plan to go to college and become a lawyer, possibly.
I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. Let me get over here and talk to, see if I get this right. Shirak? All right, Shirak. What's your grade level?
I'm a senior.
How do you feel about the program that you're involved in? And have you been involved in any other programs here at Galileo?
Well, I feel it's a very wonderful program because it helps people to realize that just because they have a disability doesn't mean that they should be put down by it, because that wouldn't be fair. And I'm also in Beta Club and Student Council.
We also are going to make you the star for talking about these students and what they need. That was great. I love the way that you put that, and that they are who they are, and they are perfectly normal.
I think these children or these teenagers shouldn't have to feel like they don't belong because they have a disability.
Do you think that you would feel this way if you had not become involved in the T.O.P soccer program?
I think I would, but I wouldn't be as experienced or have a front seat view as before.
So I guess what you're saying is T.O.P soccer not only helps those special ed students, it's helping you and everyone in the school.
Definitely, because it's teaching me, well, first it taught me how to treat other people. Like, even if they have differences, doesn't mean that we have to treat them different. And second, it showed me that I really do want to work with children when I grow up, because I've always wanted to be a pediatrician.
Okay, so you're telling me, I don't even have to ask you what you're going to do in the future. You're telling me.
Yeah. And I've always wanted to be a pediatrician, even when I was a child myself. So working with children now, it makes me really happy, and I want to do that for the rest of my life. So yeah.
Very well spoken. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have two volunteers here that are 10th graders, Kayla and Vishwa. Is this your first year to do this type of thing?
Yes.
How do you feel about it?
It's fun. I really love it. I feel like I'm going to do stuff like this again.
Makes you feel like you're part of something, doesn't it? Yeah. How about you, Vishwa? How do you feel about going out there and working with students?
It was fun. It was a new experience for me because I've never been around kids like that before. So it was a new experience for me.
So they got some help, and you got some help too. What I want to do now is look out there to the community, both of you, and tell everybody that we are so happy that you spent time with us this week. And I know that you've got to be impressed when you see teenagers like this that will give up a Saturday morning to go out and work with students that need their help. And what you found out in talking to each of these students is they're not only helping those students in T.O.P soccer, they're learning themselves and they're getting help. One of the main things here at Galileo is getting out in the community and helping the community. I want to thank all of you for spending time with us this week, and be sure to come back next week and find out what's going on in Danville Public Schools.